Good morning. Good morning. Well, I had some awesome downloads this morning, and I wanted to come together with everybody and share and chat and really just see how some of this could help some of you. So, hey, Amber, good morning. Good morning. Hi. Yeah, we'll get started in just a second. We'll let some people hop on. Hey, Becky. And we'll let some people hop on and see if we can maybe get to the bottom of some things that we have going on, whether it are as thoughts in our head or feeling stuck or whatever it is. We are going to do that. Hey, Steph. Good morning. Hey, Kelly. Good morning, everybody. So if you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit replay. But let us get through the build here for a second, because everybody that's hopping on right now, probably going to have some live questions or comments or, reactions or good morning, Gretchen. I love your new profile picture, Gretchen. It's so adorable. I love it. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Rochelle. Good morning, Nita. Good morning. Yep, let's get through all of the love. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Sherry. So excited for you guys to be with me this morning. And hey, Natasha. Good morning, Lindsay. Hey, Denise. Hey, Tiff. Love it. Love, love. Hey, Catherine. Oh, thank you so much. Good morning. Yeah, and when I have my mornings are my download day, times. Merry Christmas to you, Catherine. Oh, thanks, Casey. I appreciate that. Thank you. My mornings are my download time. That's when I think that I'm just more open to receiving and being connected, because it's quiet and the day hasn't started, and the phone calls and just the being pulled in so many different directions. The mornings are my time for sure. Laura, I love you. I miss you. We need to catch up. And so yes, mornings are my downloads. That's when I get that's when I can hear. They're always there, right? All of my peeps, and our God and everybody, they're always there, always there. It's just a matter of tuning in. And that's kind of going to be the subject today. Is about tuning in. And I am relaxed and refreshed. Heather, isn't that fun? We're going to talk about how to do that too. We're going to talk about a few things. Anxiety in people. Hello, Lori. Anxiety has been a topic that I've been hearing a lot, but it's in my presence. People talking about anxiety is in my presence a lot lately. And I've never really had anxiety. I've never really had that. I've had moments, of fear, and I've had moments of just hyperventilation. I've had those moments, but I don't claim anxiety. I've never really had anything that has been, I've had heartbreak where I've been consumed by grief. I've been consumed where I feel like I can't get out. And that's, but I never really have claimed the word anxiety. Never really had that. However, it doesn't mean that I don't feel the same things in a moment that somebody that deals with that. And we're going to talk about when we say things like suffer from. So we're going to talk about that. But yeah, we definitely want to chat this morning. And when I was talking about how mornings are my time for alignment, and that I'm getting, that's when I'm getting the downloads from above, I'm getting the info. It doesn't mean that the morning is the only time that it's available. It's just the only time that I am tuned in to what is there. And we really need to take time to pay attention. Hey, Deanna. We really need to take time to pay attention to what is always there. Always, 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 always there for us. And so how many of you guys feel sometimes stuck? And you say, how I labeled this was, how can I get out of, this place? How can I feel stuck. How do I get out of this overwhelming feeling? How do I get out of, where I am feeling consumed and I have no control whatsoever? Lori says, what I always felt my struggles were, I know were my lessons. Yeah, absolutely. Everything that's given to us, guys, is for us. There's so many things that we could talk about today. And I'll probably jump around, but it's all basically the same subject. And, if you know me, I jump around quite a bit. My brain goes like ping, 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 ping all the time. And, oh, Gretchen, you're feeling that right now, honey? Oh, okay. Well, we're going to talk about that. One of the things that I always do, and it's been a work in progress or a training, hey, Cindy, good morning. It's been a training that I have done for myself, is that when something is happening to me, I have, in that moment, I can choose to get out by stepping back into alignment with who I truly am. So we have to remember that there is the whole of us, okay? So if you have a pen and paper, write down that I am whole, right? There is the whole being, our inner being, our soul, our higher self, whatever that is, our inner being, that is the whole of us, right? So our inner being is the capital YOU that sits side by side with God, right? And if you think about God, and if those of you are Christian and Jesus is your Savior, Jesus never came down and engaged in the drama, okay? He was there, but there was always a flip side to whatever the drama was. There was always an answer to whatever the drama was. And it was always the right answer. So the whole of us, our inner being, is actually, because we were made in God's image, right? So we are that. We are also that piece. That piece of us has no trappings. There's no judgment. There's no fear. There's no lack of self-worth. There's no negative self-talk. There is no suffering. There is no pain. There is no anything. There's nothing. There's no ego. There's no ego when it comes to your inner being. Okay? So your inner, and then there's the ego piece of us. The ego piece of us is the person that lives in this life. The ego piece of us is the person that was raised from levels of consciousness of adults that maybe had their own pain, and we were just in the environment, and that is, our pain, our inner wounding and things like that came from that. It's not anything having to do with our true self and our inner being. So if you think about that, so let's just think of something right now that causes some, if those of you that deal with anxiety, so we're going to use anxiety as an example right now. Those of you that deal with anxiety, what causes that anxiety? What is something that makes you anxious? And you can post it because people probably are in alignment with you. What is something that just you notice, if you felt that today, what was it that caused that anxiety for you? What was happening? And I'm going to show you how you can get out of that. So anybody that wants to share with me, whether it was today, Gretchen, you mentioned it today, or it's happened in the past, or it's a reoccurring thing. Lori is being unsure about something. Okay. Being unsure about something. That's fair. Because we are always trying to control our outcome, right? We're always trying to forecast so we can stay safe. But when we are trying to control our outcome, we're not trusting, we're not flowing with, the direction. Because when you're in alignment with the light, right, then there is no wrong direction. Everything happens the way that it should. But always remember this. I want to hear another one. What is something that causes, a circumstance that causes somebody to have anxiety? Amber, people pleaser. Okay, so let's take that as an example. When you are looking for that acceptance, because that's really all people pleasing is looking for acceptance, looking for approval. Because when we are over giving to somebody, it's in hopes that we are being approved. And on a side note with that is that until we give our own self-approval, then we'll never be able to fulfill that on the outside. Deanna says, betrayed and disrespected was the last time it happened to you. Okay. And people judgment. Okay. So let's just take those as an example. So what I want to go to is that we have our ego self, which is all of our fears, people pleasing, being disrespected, being mistreated, all of these things, okay, that we tend to respond. We can respond in two ways. We respond from our ego place, which is our wounding, right? And we also have a place in us, our inner being. So there's always going to be two responses. Your inner being. So how do you normally respond to when somebody is being disrespectful? Do you feel hurt? Do you view that as a personal hit? Do you view that as somebody not liking you? Does it reduce your self-worth? I always want you to think of, in those situations when something is happening to you, is that your inner being views the situation in a different way. So how would your inner being view that situation? It would remove itself and realize that has nothing to do with me. Not a single thing has anything to do with me. Amber said people pleasing. Pleasing others, whether somebody is pleased with you or not, unless you're just a terrible person, which Amber, you are not, and nobody on this feed is terrible. So unless you are a terrible person, there is nothing that you can do to change somebody else's experience in how they view you or something else, right? And so when we can think that our inner being always has another opinion or another set of actions or another set of responses, then that kind of, and it kind of goes along the ways of like, what would Jesus do? Okay, so think of it that way. Like, how would Jesus respond? Well, our inner being sits side by side with Jesus. And so if we respond the way that he might, then you have to always remember that there are two ways to respond, and you have to know that the one that your inner being would never ever do is going to be the wrong one. That's the one that's going to keep you in the turmoil, right? I wrote a lot of things down this morning. I mean, you guys, I have like pages of notes of my downloads from this morning. So if we are thinking a thought, if I'm thinking a thought that my inner being doesn't think, I'm thinking low thoughts. So that's like no self-confidence, fear, self-doubt, self-depreciation. Get this: the inner being doesn't ever, ever, ever think those thoughts, and where the inner being is your path to where you want to be, right? So so if I am feeling like in a situation, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-worth. Well, my inner being is never going to meet me there. My inner being has confidence. My inner being has high self-worth. My inner being just operates from a place of love and light and beauty. And, the perspective is always going to be, there's going to be the inner being's perspective and our ego perspective. And most of us live in the ego perspective, and that's where our troubles are. So when we can realize that, okay, what would my inner being be thinking of this situation right this second? That's where you got to see, because my inner being, we have worth, we have confidence. All it is I'm just misaligned, right? I love that my inner being hangs tough and strong and sure to who I am. I love that I get pokes and reminders. See, you guys will constantly every day. Okay, let me just go into something. There's everything that we have in our life is what we want, right? Everything everything that we think about, like our visions and our thoughts and everything of what we want for our life to be like, and the wishes that we have and the hopes and the dreams and, whatever we want to call our vision boards on law of attraction and, the things that we want to occur in our life and the changes that we want to see made or the relationships that we want to have or, all of those things. Think of this, that low self, if you want that package, if you want to align with the destiny that was made for you, right? So you were created in with a purpose, and you were created with an amazing destiny of how you can help other people, living your best life, whatever that is, whether it's abundance and prosperity and success and all of those kinds of things, right? So if you have a vision for that to occur in your life, well, to get there, your vehicle, right? You cannot drag along a bunch of crap in order to get there. So whatever state that so let's just imagine that the vehicle, and let's make it a physical vehicle. You have a car and it's an SUV. We're going to use it as an SUV. And the SUV is your vehicle that's going to take you to all your dreams and hopes and all the things that you want to have happen in your life. Can abundance, prosperity happen when we are in a mental and emotional and spiritual space of fear and self-doubt and low confidence and pain? Can we start to see those things manifesting if we're out of alignment from, having that occur? No. So if you can only take in your vehicle the thoughts, visions, behaviors, anything that is of the light that comes from above, if you can only take those things with you in your vehicle, you have to remember that. So when you're on your way, like if I'm on my way to prosperity, if I'm on my way to my best relationships, if I'm on my way to, having abundance in my life, I can't drag along and relitigate. So many of us relitigate our past. So many of us drag along our baggage. See, if you can only fit so much in your vehicle to get yourself to where you want to be, you cannot take along the things that have kept you from it. And so we have to remember that it's viewed in so many different ways. Like when I get people that are just feeling completely overwhelmed or they feel stuck or something like that, only goodness is going to be coming from above. Only goodness and light and love is only going to be coming from above. There's not ever going to be fear, low self-worth, anything like that. There's never going to be that in your vehicle, because that the vehicle is just going to be drugged down. It's going to be, you're going to go on the wrong path. You're going to be distracted. You're not in alignment with where you want to go. So when I talk to people, I say, okay, imagine yourself, and if you're not driving right now, close your eyes. Imagine yourself, and you're standing on a stage, and many of you that have been on a one-on-one call with me, we've done this little exercise before. But imagine you're on a stage right now, and it is pitch dark. No, and it's completely empty. You're in a theater, and the theater is completely empty. You're up on a stage. There's nothing around you. There's no props. There's nothing. It's just a blank platform that you're on. And it's completely dark with the exception of a spotlight coming straight down from above. Okay? And I want you to imagine going and stepping into that spotlight, and that is the only thing is you in that light. And you're in that beam of light. You're standing in it. There's not a toe, a finger, a hair, nothing outside of that beam of light, right? And imagine that that beam of light actually is God's light, right? That is your alignment with above. That is your alignment with your creator, the source of all, right? That is your alignment with all the love, acceptance, because you are accepted from above. You are approved. You are made in his image. And there's never, in that light, when you can imagine, just think and look up and imagine heaven, right? Imagine heaven and how beautiful it is. And feel the love from above that you have, that is available to you. The only time, so you can open your eyes now. The only time that you're not having that experience is when you step out of that light. So when you step out of that light, it's your choosing. It's not anybody else pushing you. It's not anything else, any other circumstances that are happening. It's you stepping outside of the light, because even in the worst of times, you can go and stand in that light and have your protection, your love, your answers, your clarity, your approval, everything, your value, everything that you can see about you is in that light, right? The only time that you feel out of balance is when you're not in alignment. It is your own choosing to not be in that light. And that's all. And you know what's really interesting is no matter how crappy your day is, there is always a glimpse of that light. Abraham Hicks calls it the vortex, right? The vortex is, just think of that. That's a magnetic pull from above, right? So just think of that vortex coming down from above, right? And there's always glimpses of the vortex. There's only goodness in the vortex. You can't put crap in the vortex, because the vortex is where you're supposed to go in your life, right? So the alignment, the beam of light, whatever you want to call it, your connection and your alignment to your creator, your source, and the higher you. Okay? So you can't throw crap into your vehicle. You can't throw things into your vehicle and expect to get to where you want to be. You can't throw a bunch of baggage along with you, because you can only have so much. So let's just see what goes into this car, this vehicle that you're trying to get to your destination. You're on a road trip to your best life ever. The abuse that you endured as a child, the bullying that you had in high school, the people in your life that treated you like you were nothing, the things you probably should have never experienced or seen as a child, and you're now picking up the tab for it. These things cannot, by relitigating them and dragging them along with you, it can be part of who you are, but it's never going to, by relitigating it or dragging it along with you, is never going to get you to where you want to be. You'll hear me say, let me tell you a story about what happened. But I don't claim that or use it as a crutch or as an excuse to stay where I am. Well, I'm a horrible person because look what happened to me before. I am choosing to stay in that place by dragging all of that it served you for a purpose. It served you for the moment. It served you because here's the thing. You can never know what you want until you see what you don't want. You have to have contrast in your life. However, how often are you resisting the goodness that is available to you? How often are you in that resistant mode of the things that are available to you for your best life? So let me go back to some of the things that I had wrote down. Oh my gosh, I wrote down a lot of stuff. I don't have to know all the answers right this second. In fact, I'd be overwhelmed with all of the answers. We're always given little pieces and signs and everything. We're given everything we need exactly in the right moment that we need it. Right? But rest assured, I can know this truth about this subject this minute when I feel like crap. That means my inner being feels awesome. When I'm feeling like crap, my inner being doesn't ever feel like crap. My inner being will never come and meet me in my pit of crap. Ever, ever. Because that means that she is lowering herself, and she'll never lower herself. Ever, ever. She never experiences crap. She never experiences strife. She can see and identify, but she doesn't engage. That's been my motto this year. Actually, I can acknowledge things, I can identify something, but it's my choice, it's my choosing whether or not I engage with it, and I don't. I let things flow. I step back and sit into the seat of my soul. I hang out with my inner being. And I, you know what, and I'm human too. I things happen, but I can check myself. This is when you start to know that you are healing and you are getting better, is when you don't spend as much time in the crap pit as you used to before. You might, listen, we'll never make it. We'll never ever make it. We never will. We're always elevating. We're always growing. We're always learning. We're always achieving next levels, right? But we're always going to get a glimpse of something coming back around again. And I love the phrase that, God is going to bring things back up into your life to see if you're still stupid. Right? But every time we're doing this, we're a little less stupid. Meaning, when I said before, is that I have things come up, right? I just spend less time on it. I spend less time on it. I can see it and I can be like, okay, there's the contrast. I don't want that. I really don't. I don't want to feel like crap. I don't want to feel fearful. I don't want to feel, like I lack self-worth. I don't want to feel that. I get to choose how long I get to swim in that misery pool, right? So let's see, when I feel like crap, and that means my inner being feels awesome. That's the contrast. You know that there's an opposite end to it. And so if you can start connecting with her or him, if you start connecting with that inner being, you're going to see less and less of you spending time in outside of that alignment light, outside of the vortex of what you want. Like, imagine what that is. The vortex is having everything you want. You're living your purpose. You don't have any trappings. There's no fears. There's no lack of self-worth. There's nothing. That vortex is beauty. It's love. It's abundance. It's prosperity. It's gratitude. It's blessings. That vortex is never going to come and meet you in whatever zone you're in that's full of crap. Never. It's a choosing to be in or out of it. Okay? Because that's where the truth always lies, in that vortex or in that beam of light, in that connection, in that alignment with your true self. Let's see what else. My inner being is the answer. Did you know there are always two answers to every situation? Yeah, that's what I started talking about before. Think of an issue you've had. Your ego or your human self has a view, and your inner being has a view of it. Your inner being is the you with God. Your inner being is the correct thought and answer. Your only job is to get into alignment with that. So one of my favorite things that I've learned is being present. Because if you have feelings of self-doubt, if you have feelings of fear, if you have any feelings of lack of trust, whether that's if you don't trust other people, it means you don't trust yourself. Everything is a mirror. I'm telling you that right now. Everything that occurs in your life is a mirror, and that's great news. You can look at that as like, crap, I'm sick of this, or I just haven't got it yet. It's telling me all the time. These situations are telling me all the time. When I have strife, it's a mirror. It's trying to get my attention that this is where my work needs to lie. So when you think about where you are right now, and where you are right now, if everything it feels out of alignment, again, that's a choice, right? But if everything feels out of alignment, your present thought, if it's fear, but you wish you could get to, a place of abundance or success, or meeting that perfect person in your life, or okay, let's take that for an example. You dream of being with, let's just take anybody that's single out there, and you think of the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life, your forever person. You think of your person that you want, and they have all of these qualities, and you've almost made a mental checklist of the kind of relationship that you want. However, in this present moment, in the chair you're sitting in, you don't trust some other people. You're afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of what could happen. You're afraid, whatever it is, you're sitting in this place, right? Let me just tell you what. You cannot get there from here. So you might want to put that on a sticky note and stick it in your office, that when you're feeling a place of out of alignment, when you're feeling of a place that is not it's the contrasting thought to the issue, that your inner being would have a different contrasting thought, right? If you're sitting in a place right now and you feel stuck, but you want to get out of it, you can't get there from this state of being. You can't get there from here. You have to change your here in order to get there. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs up if I rang some bells. Give me some thumbs up there. Don't give in to the feeling. When you have a feeling that is off, and it's off, you feel off, you're scared, you're worried, you're anxious, don't give in to the feeling. You identify it so you can say, okay, here's where my work needs to be. I'm out of alignment. I need to get back into alignment, because my inner being does not have these thoughts, and my inner being is going to get me to there, right? You have to savor what's unfolding. You have to understand that things are unfolding, because when you start to see when you know that there is a contrast thought, you can't know what you want until you can experience what you don't want, right? So if you're experiencing what you don't want, then good Lord, there's so much more to come, but you got to get into alignment with it. Now, think about the things that we drag along, whether it's baggage, your past, and I'm going to tell you something right now. You can't hide from your past. Those of you that say, well, you know what? It doesn't do me any good to think about my past. I can hear underneath that you're avoiding. Now, I am absolutely saying you got to get through. You can't hide from it. You have to walk through it so you can get to the other side. Okay? So it makes sense for us to replay things from our past, because there was so much attention to the forward continuum of keeping it real. I wrote that down. What do you think about that? Because we tend to carry our story as an excuse to stay in a comfort zone. So let me read what I wrote down again. It makes sense for us to replay things from our past because there was so much attention to the forward continuum of constantly keeping it real in your presence. Because you can have two vortexes. You can have that vortex, and you can have the vortex of where you want to be, and you can have the vortex of things right now of keeping things real. You have the ability to think about other things. Remind yourself that. Did I say it again? You want me to say it again, Lori? Or was that good? One more time. It makes sense for us to replay things from our past because there was so much attention to the forward continuum of keeping it real. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. So if you keep relitigating it, you're not creating a change. That's the one thing that I wrote down too. Or you haven't grown away from it when you keep relitigating it. Thinking of or relitigating it continues to love and nourish it like a child. Give attention to it. And what happens is you're bringing more circumstances like it into your presence. Because how many times have we said the law of attraction does not speak English, it speaks energy. What you think about, you bring about. If you have a thought about something, you are putting an order in for more of the same. That's why people stay stuck. I wrote this down. Who's heard the phrase, "It's just my luck, these things always seem to happen to me"? Of course they do, because you haven't created a road, channel, or opening for the good or what you actually want to arrive, because there's no room for it. Where is what you want gonna go? Where can it go? There's no room for it. You're hoarding your past circumstances. You're hoarding your fear. You're nurturing and loving your wounding. You just have to see it because it was given to you so you can go to the next level. It was given to you because you're equipped and able. And I look at, the final piece of my healing is that I'm able to now help other people. So where does it have, there's no room for anything for the new to go if you're full of still a bunch of other stuff. You haven't created space for what you really want because that space is occupied. One of the first rules that I learned myself, it was just a self-teaching thing. It was, in order to receive, I have to release. The condition of your soul is not only felt by us, it's also felt by a lot of those who are in relationship with it. Ever hear the phrase, if you don't heal what has hurt you, you will bleed on those that didn't cut you? How many people are casualties to your unresolved suffering that is self-perpetuated, including you? Right? So the idea that you're feeling low means your inner being knows what it feels like to feel high, to vibrate high. You have to remember that. When you're feeling low, you say, golly, thank you, because you know that your inner being is never ever going to go and meet you in that place. Well, hello, kitty. Your inner being is never going to come and meet you. In fact, I don't want God, when we say that God is helping us with our suffering, here's the thing that I want you guys to realize. Like, one of my favorite verses when I was going through my heartbreak was Exodus 14:13. Fear not, stand still where you are, and let the Lord rescue you. Okay, you need to get down. Your claw is stuck in my sweater. Excuse me, guys. Let go. I know, well, okay. Gosh, sorry. That phrase, there is that moment, and that is my moment to breathe. It doesn't mean, when we say that we need to let go and let God, when we say that we ask God to come and sit with us in our suffering, when we have these things happen, you need to understand something, is that God is never, ever, ever, ever going to leave you. We only leave him. We only step out of the light. He is never, ever gone. But he also is not going to come down into my twitchy, off-centered, misaligned thoughts either. I don't want him to. You guys, here's the thing is that when I use that scripture, don't be afraid. Stand still and let the Lord rescue you. That's your moment. We're going to go back to people that deal with anxiety. That is your moment to just stop. Just stop. So one of the things that when somebody is feeling anxious and they are consumed by that. So is anybody did anybody experience any of that today? Any anxiety? I'm going to teach you how to walk through that. So let's just say right now, you're feeling some of that anxiety. Okay? Remember what that, if it wasn't today, remember what that feels like though. Because we're going to walk through that. Okay? If you were feeling anxious right now, okay, Brittany, you're feeling anxious right now. How deep are your breaths? So Brittany, everybody breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth, right? Ready? Again. Again. Fill your lungs up totally until it's not your lungs, it's actually your tummy. And then out. Do it again. In through the nose, all the way until your belly expands, and then out through the mouth. And one more time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. You have to pay attention to your breath. Okay? Now, are your shoulders making out with your ears? I notice that sometimes. Okay? So think of that. I want you to think of that beautiful white light that's coming from above, right? And it's touching the top of your head. And it's starting to pour like warm honey and drip down your face. And you're softening your eyes. You're softening your forehead. And you drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders out of your ears. And drop them again. One more time, drop those shoulders again. Take another deep breath. Let your jaw fall away from your teeth. Let your tongue come off of the roof of the mouth. And just let that whole tension in your jaw, just let it all melt. Let the tension in your neck melt. And just feel that warm honey. It's almost like warm honey just going all the way down your body. And think of it as a beautiful, 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 bright, bright, bright light. And that comes from God, right? And that's filling every little nook and cranny and crevice. Okay, now close your eyes and think of the dark place that's inside. Where is your dark place? Where is your pain? Is it in your chest? So imagine, you guys are probably, hopefully you're closing your eyes right now. Imagine that your inner being, which is the light of you, the angel of you, the soul of you, the spirit of you, the you that sits side by side with God. And you are filled with so much light. Go and place your hands around that dark hole and cover it. and love it. See, you're not joining in on the pain. You're sending love to the pain. Take another deep breath. Let that warm light continue to move through your joints, your tummy, your hips, your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet. And then let's get yourself grounded. So imagine your feet are on the ground and you're outside. Don't think of it as being cold. Just think of it as a warm summer day, warm sunny day, and you're standing in the grass. And think of roots coming out of the bottom of your feet. And those roots are going to grow, and all the way to the center of the earth and attach to the center of the earth. And you're getting yourself grounded. And getting yourself grounded is, what colors do you notice around you? What are the sounds that you hear? What are the smells that you're smelling? Get your senses involved, and that's what helps you get grounded. Okay, and so you have connected to your grounding, you've connected to the center of the earth, and now that warm liquid gold that is at the center of the earth is going to come right back up those roots into the bottom of your feet. Breathe from the bottom of your feet, right? Sounds kooky, but I'm telling you, if you imagine breathing that earth into the bottom of your feet, and let that liquid gold come right back up, all the way up your legs, your calves, surround your knees, up your legs, into your hips, into your tummy, surrounding your heart, and let it sit at your heart for just a second. And swirl that beautiful, light, loving energy all around that heart space that has so much pain. Let it continue to go up into your throat chakra, all up your face again, around your neck, into your head, and connect that light again with above. Under the influence of your source, your creator, your God, heaven, the light, the truth, no suffering exists at all. In fact, it's all an illusion, but it's a mirror to what your pain is. So when you can bring yourself to understanding that you are not the suffering, do not claim suffering. When somebody says, I suffer from depression, no, you don't. Stop claiming that as an identity. Stop claiming things that are out of alignment from who you really are. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from PTSD. I suffer from fibromyalgia. No, you have those things happening, and all pain, no matter if it's physical, mental, emotional, whatever it is, spiritual, all pain is a wake-up call to get back into alignment. No different than if you break your leg, you have to go give it attention so it can heal. Everything is a misalignment. Everything that we consider suffering is a misalignment. So, Brittany, did that help a minute? Did that help you, honey? I'd love to hear that feedback if that helped, because you were brave and you said, right now, right this second, I am feeling that. So because you were brave and you said that, We just walked through. Good. We just walked through bringing that all down and separating yourself from the happening to what is not you. Except the shoulder exercise. What do you mean? What happened? That should have been great. My shoulders and neck are so tense. I don't know what they need. Oh, okay. Well, you might just need a good old-fashioned massage. If you don't have one, a massager handy, then maybe you have some places where you can go stretch. But see, again, pain. So, Brittany, usually tension in the neck and shoulders means you're carrying everybody else's weight. You're doing everything for everybody else. Yeah. Guys, let's stop using words like I suffer from. You don't suffer from. It's a misalignment. That's all it is. You got to get yourself back into alignment, and that's where the healing. You cannot heal when your mind is still on fear, wounding, pain, past, low self-worth. You can't heal from there. You can't get there from here. You have to change here in order to get there. I hope that helped, guys. You guys all have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. I love you guys so, so much. And Ryan, suffer from super positivity disorder. Just such a dork. What was the man's name who wrote about the vortex? Well, that's a tricky subject, Lori. Abraham Hicks. I'll tell you what that is. Abraham Hicks. There is a woman named Esther Hicks, and she connects with source energy. And that they have given the human name of Abraham, the source energy. So Abraham Hicks is when Esther is connecting with above. And Abraham is the source energy. It's a very cerebral subject. But yeah, you can go look up Abraham Hicks, and I've learned a lot of beautiful things and had a lot of confirmations of things that I was getting downloads, and then I would listen and I would be like, yes, that's what it is. So I want you guys to remember this. Perception is reality, right? What we perceive is what is actually happening. What we may give momentum to, now that has been a subject that definitely was confirmed when I listened to Esther talk. What we give momentum to, we have to just decide what we're going to give momentum to, right? So if you have, listen to this. Let's just take fear for example. Fear is its weakest the second that you have it. The fear that you feel right this second is its weakest. It only grows the more momentum you give it. And Abraham actually uses a great analogy that if you are, she was visiting San Francisco and she could not believe the hills in San Francisco, these crazy hills, right? And so think about that. If you have a car that's pushed in and you have it in neutral and it starts to roll, your chances of stopping that forward momentum are immediately before it starts to pick up speed, right? But when something picks up, can you stop that? You're going to be a pancake if you try to stop the forward momentum of a car that has gone, half a mile already down a hill. So just remember what you're giving momentum to. You can get something as a reminder, hey, wait a minute, I don't like that. And then you can stop it in that second. You can get back into the alignment again, right? So always when thoughts of feeling stuck or anything like that, just remember that you're resisting the truth. You're resisting the alignment with your source. You're resisting the alignment with life. Oh, Sherry, I just read yours. So much life is physics. It is. And math. So much math involved. But when we are having those moments, we have to remind ourselves, I am resisting the light, the alignment, the vortex. Remember all of that, right? When I was mentioning that God will never come and meet you because he knows that it's you that has to go and meet him, because he's not going to come down here with you in the crap. Even though we always say that, Jesus was in my pit with me. Well, he's never not with you. What it means is that he's not going to do your work. He's not going to fix it, because if you are not opening yourself up to what you're capable of, then you're never going to get to where you want to be. If you're still stuck in this place, God is not going to pull you out of it, because you're still in that mental, spiritual space of thinking that's where you should be. God will never leave you, ever, ever, ever. He's always, always with you. But he's never going to come down to you, because down is not where you need to stay. He's going to be here, and he needs for us to go and get in alignment with him. If that does not make sense, I know that's really, really weird, and it feels like it goes against everything we've been taught since Sunday school, but it really is not. It really, really is not. If you think about it, we cannot get there from here. That's what God is saying. So he says, if you want to get here with me in alignment, stop this shit down here, because this is not what's going to get you there. Getting with me is going to get you there. So I hope that helps. You guys have an awesome day. I love you. Have a great, awesome, awesome rest of your weekend. Bye.